No. Nico, welcome again. It's always great to see you. We're getting into the end of the summer with Montreal, Cincinnati, and U.S. Open. So, what was your take on Wimbledon, first of all?
I loved it. I think the level of tennis was superb. I'm glad to have seen various youngsters break through and played some unbelievable tennis. We had some great matches. A deserving champion in the men's side, and in Novak Djokovic, I think is just outstanding with all the trouble that he's had this year. That he's managed to pull through and win the biggest title of the season. And on the women's side, we just saw an incredible level, and what a surprise that we had. I think the changing of the guards it's here. We're living it, and I'm looking forward to the summer because I think we're going to have a lot of big surprises.
Yeah, I was surprised with Serena when she played. I mean, maybe she lost, and maybe the girl ended up having a good tournament, but she certainly didn't seem like match ready at all. She seemed very slow and heavy. What did you perceive?
Well, it's tough, at her age, the way she's been dealing with injuries in the last few years, and then she's heavy, so it's very tough on the footwork to be much match ready with just one tournament the week before, and to go in and try to play against top-notch competition. I really couldn't tell you, or don't want to speculate on the reason why she played, but it just seemed like out of tune, like you were saying, and I hope that she's angling towards getting to the U.S. Open healthy and in some sort of rhythm. I would think that was her objective going into this year's Wimbledon.
Has her relationship with Patrick ended, or is he taking him over for the U.S. Open?
I think it ended. I think the commitment for a player like Halep has to be big and important in order for her to make the commitment to try and win, try to motivate herself. So I would think that Serena wants a fresh voice in her ear to try and pull through and tie the record. But I wouldn't discard it that if Serena starts doing well, that Patrick could be in both corners. They have a great steady relationship for the last few years. It's been very fruitful, and I know that they understand each other because I have not seen any other coaches in Serena's corner. So that is something that caught my eye. The fact that he started with Halep. So let's see where that takes us. Ooh, excuse me.
Oh, yeah, certainly. With all that traveling you're doing, that's what happens. Tell me, the U.S. Open, Novak. I mean, how can that happen that he doesn't play 2 Grand Slams in 1 year when he's pursuing, the title of greatest of all times? Which, whether people like it or not, if you win the most, tournaments, it's hard to say you're not the best of all time. It's the same as a car salesman who sells the most car. That's it.
Well, it says a lot about his character and his state of mind, that he's willing to sacrifice, that achievement in order to be true to his personal beliefs. This way of being is what gave Novak the physical possibility to achieve what he has. So he's being true to it. That's the way I see it, and he's willing to sacrifice it. We're all hoping that one way or the other he manages to play in the U.S. It doesn't look likely at this point. So he has a big decision to make because he can't be playing 2 slams a year, especially considering that Rafa has such a leg up on the clay. So he has decisions to make, and hopefully all the limitations and all the country's normalities go a bit softer and allows us to see the best players in the best tournaments. But that's way beyond our pay grade.
Tell me, one question from a Canadian standpoint. Denis Shapovalov beats Nadal when Nadal's a little bit injured. And then since then, nothing has happened. Do you hear anything or have you seen? I mean, his performance is really lacking in the type of quality that he usually gives us in the summer.
Well, Dennis is there. You know, I don't know how he maintains the ranking because certainly the results that we expect from a player of his quality have not been there consistently. He's one of those guys like Henri Leconte. He has all the weapons, and when he puts it together, he's very hard to beat. But I think he finds it hard to be consistent. I don't know what it is that goes on in his routine. I know he's the ultimate pro. You know, I'm a big fan of Dennis since you mentioned him to me when him and Felix were playing in the juniors, and you asked me to go and watch them. And this guy is such a star. He managed to win Wimbledon that week. So I expect a lot from him. I'm sure he does as well. And remember, they're young. You know, they're very young. We tend to forget that this guy he could have a 15-year career ahead of him at this point. So expect a lot more from him if he manages to put it together and be more consistent week in and week out. And if he manages to pinpoint what is making him be so up and down in terms of results. He loses to people that he shouldn't be losing to. But then on the other hand, he can beat anybody on any given day. He's still up there. And I think one of these days he's going to have a good couple of weeks and he could give us a nice surprise.
You know, you mentioned Henri Leconte. Maybe it's something to do with being a left-handed player.
Exactly. That's why I compare him. You know, he has a big winding forehand. Of course, the sport has evolved so much that it has changed quite a bit, but he's so athletic, you know, and he has so many options. He has improved inside the lines as well, which was one part that I always said was lacking on him in terms of being more confident when he goes up to the net, because he definitely has the hands, and he's been working on that. You could tell he feels more comfortable, more at ease at the net. So I think that's a big point. Maybe it's a transition period for him. He doesn't quite understand the way he should play with these new weapons, and it's just a matter of putting the toolkit together for him to start getting the big results consistently.
Last question. I'm puzzled by the women's game. I mean, we have so many champions, young champions, and then they disappear. What is it? What happens exactly? Tell me, is it the money? Is it on the ability to cope with the success? What exactly?
I think it's a mixture. It's a mixture of money and attention. You know, once these girls, 18, 19, 20, have success, they start signing deals left and right, and their time is not devoted to tennis like it used to be. And they have a lot of obligations, and they just don't know how to deal with those, which are, you know, very, very hard nowadays, because the more contracts, the more deals you sign, the more you have to give of yourself outside the court. So I think it's a balancing act that they have to do. And sometimes at 18, 19, you're not equipped to do so.
Nico, as always, thank you. I hope to see you at the US Open in New York, and it would be a great pleasure. One love, bro.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that. Thank you very much. Always a pleasure. And all my best for your fellow Canadians.
Thank you so much.